about Dorian. We've seen what it's done in the Bahamas, and there are millions of us potentially who may feel the effects of this.
Well, anytime we look at that path and we see that it's at least going to come up towards us, a lot of us wondering if, Zach, there's going to be any chance we have an effect.
And there's a whole lot of variability that goes between now and Saturday when it could make that pass well off to the southeast of Nantucket, which we'll discuss in just a moment. But the imminent concern right along the immediate eastern facing side of the Florida Peninsula. There has been at least a little bit of movement, which was not part of the conversation yesterday, as the motion was ranked as stationary for nearly 18 hours just over the island of Grand Bahama. Now it's starting to make its pass at least a little bit closer to the eastern side of Florida as a Category 2. Now, I want you to consider that, yes, it has lost a little bit of steam in its max sustained winds. A Category 5 yesterday, 110 mile per hour max winds today. But that also means that the wind field is expanding. So the implications of the outer bands are actually making its pass farther inland. And that will continue to be the trend as we go into the next 2 days. The hurricane force winds expanded out 60 miles from the center of the storm, and the tropical storm force winds, which is 34 miles per hour or higher, actually expanded out 150 miles. So yes, while the cone is going right along the immediate coast, areas farther west are still going to feel the impacts of this as well. By Thursday afternoon, making its closest pass in South Carolina towards Charleston. Then it starts to progress up towards Hatteras in the Outer Banks. So North Carolina dealing with some of the storm surge and really devastating wind damage. Then we start tracking it up to the north and east. And this is where it has its closest pass to Nantucket. You notice that the official hurricane track, that red line there, is well out of our way. But there are some potential concerns here locally for the Outer Cape, parts of southeastern Mass, but I do think that it's Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket that'll likely catch some of the brunt of this concern with large wave, dangerous rip currents, and some higher surf. So we could have some beach erosion along with this. And coastal wind is obviously going to be part of the factor as well, as we could see some of those wind speeds topping around 30 to 35 miles per hour. Friday into Saturday morning. That is Dorian. We have our newest named storm, Fernand, which is not going to make too much of a hassle here in the continental United States, but it is tracking west and going to be impacting parts of northeastern Mexico. So if you were keeping score at home, that is now 6 named storms of the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season. Gabrielle is going to be next on the list. In fact, there's tropical depression number 8 way out in the eastern Atlantic, and that may do enough to generate Gabrielle in the next 24 hours. Here locally, though, what a day. Mid and upper 70s for our highs. A lot of sunshine around. Low and mid 60s overnight with mainly clear skies. And I say mainly clear because there is a wave of energy that we're tracking out of our northwest to give us some clouds as we wake up on Wednesday morning. Not much of a concern for the early commute. By the time the afternoon and evening hours rolls around, that's when we start to see some of the scattered showers pick up. So focusing on the green here, that's an indication of the rain is starting to slide down from northwest to southeast as we go into the later parts of the afternoon and for the evening commute. So anticipating some heavier downpours, maybe some increased wind speeds, but there is a severe weather component along with this. So we are also tracking the chance of some small hail to develop with these very short storms. Not anticipating this to be a widespread window of opportunity, and by the time Thursday morning rolls around, we're wrapping things up. Low 70s that afternoon, just about 70 degrees for Friday, tracking Dorian for Saturday morning.